If you could suddenly discover a drug that would make you invisible and no one could see you, which of your wishes would you fulfill? Today, we are going to explain a movie about a person who invented such an invisible medicine, but the result was terrible. In today's video, I will explain the sci-fi movie Hollow Man, released in 2000. And this movie was a blockbuster movie in Hollywood, so I can assure you that you will not be bored to hear the explanation of this movie. Let's go to the explanation of Hollow Man with Purple Explanation. In the opening scene of the movie, we see a scientist named Sebastian. He is a scientist who has been experimenting for many years with a medicine that can make a living person or an animal disappear. But even if it can disappear, the medicine has not been discovered to bring that animal back. So he is working on it now. But after a lot of struggle, he is not succeeding. Finally, after 1 year, he succeeds. In other words, he sees on the computer that if they make medicine with that material, then it is possible to bring back the missing thing or person. It is worth mentioning here that the medicine of disappearance has been applied on many animals which have become invisible, and now he is going to use this medicine to bring them back. So since he has been successful in his research, he has been sharing the story with all the other scientists who are with him or his team members. And there was a gorilla in the lab that he had already disappeared. The medicine was applied to bring him back to his body by lying him on the bed unconscious. Then we see that the gorilla falls into a lot of difficulties and his heartbeat rises, and looking at the gorilla it looks like he's going to die. And when the gorilla is almost dying, he is given a shock wave so that the gorilla's heartbeat becomes normal, and gradually the whole body becomes normal. That means the gorilla is visible now, which proves that Sebastian was able to make medicine to make invisible things visible. Then we learn that this research is being done primarily for the military. So in the next scene, we see them in a meeting with the military. But there, Sebastian lies. He has not yet succeeded and he wants more time. The military tells him, "You have already taken too much time. If you can't get any results soon, we will appoint someone else in your place." However, when Sebastian came out, he was with a girl named Linda and a boy named Matthew, and they both asked him, "Why did you lie? We have already achieved success." At that time, Sebastian said, "I have not checked it on people yet, and I would like to check it out on some people first, and the man I will check on is me." And then we see that they have gone to the lab and are meeting with the rest of his colleagues, and here too he is lying to his colleague. He told them that the military has given him the permission to apply medicine to people. However, Sebastian said, "I want to test it on my own body." And then we see Linda and Matthew are supporting him. After a while, they all give Sebastian the medicine to disappear. As a result, he feels a lot of pain, and in the end, he disappears. And there was so much pain in his body that he fainted, and it took him 17 hours to regain consciousness. And when he regained consciousness, he could not stand the light because his eyelids have disappeared. He says to turn off the lights. After Sebastian's disappearance, his body was tested. In other words, all the body checkups are done, which shows that his body is perfectly normal. But the girls around him couldn't feel safe. They were feeling very uncomfortable because they always felt Sebastian's presence around, because Sebastian was a wicked person. So after 3 days, they could not wait for more days. So they want to bring Sebastian back to his original body. So they give Sebastian the medicine to make him visible, but it causes Sebastian more severe pain than before, and he is no longer visible. His condition worsens and he was about to die. So after that, they don't dare to give Sebastian the medicine to be visible. But if he disappears like this, they feel uncomfortable, so they put a mask on Sebastian so that everyone can see Sebastian. However, Sebastian is very angry because of this, and he quarrels with Matthews and he says, "I am the only one who understands how much pain you have given me, especially in the light. In fact, Sebastian was in very bad mental state because he could not be normal or visible, and he was disappointed, and this anger he was pouring on everyone. Besides, he has been a prisoner for 10 days now. He doesn't even want to stay here and is going crazy. So one day, Sebastian feels very much impatient and leaves the lab and goes straight to his house. When he come home, he saw a girl next door, which he had been keeping a close eye on for years. So then we see Sebastian take off his mask and ring the doorbell at the girl's house. And when the girl opens the door, we don't see anyone. He then enters the girl's house and we can understand what is going to happen next. Anyway, then we see Linda come to Sebastian's house and she sees Sebastian is not wearing the mask, which makes Linda scared. She went back to the lab and tell everyone that Sebastian disappeared and he's not wearing the mask. She says, I don't know whom he is harming now, and says it can be scary for us and for anyone because he's walking around without a mask. And then we see Sebastian come there and Linda then warns him that if he doesn't tell them and go out like this, they will complain about it to the military. So Sebastian agrees with Linda. But still, everyone was afraid of Sebastian. Sebastian was the most intelligent of them all, so they decide that they will always keep an eye on Sebastian. And since Sebastian was invisible here, there was a temperature camera, that means it could show invisible things based on the temperature. Sebastian knew that he was being monitored by a temperature camera. So he can't go out of the lab. So he destroys that camera setting after everyone leaves and plays the previous recording. So when anyone looks at the screen, everyone thinks that he is still in the lab. That's how he got out of the lab. Sebastian goes straight to Linda's house. While there, he sees Linda and Matthew having an affair. Then he gets angry because Sebastian likes Linda. So he got angry and broke the glass of Linda's house. And when Linda and Matthew looks outside, they can't see anyone. So Linda suspects it is Sebastian. So Linda calls the lab to confirm. And the guy who was keeping an eye on Sebastian in the lab said Sebastian is in the lab because he can still see him on the screen, but there was an old video going on. So anyway, when Sebastian came back to the lab, we see that he was very angry because Linda is in a relationship with Matthew. So in anger, he killed a dog. When one of their assistants came to feed the dog and other animals, she saw that a dog had died. She comes and asks Sebastian, did you do this? But in reply he says, I know nothing about it. Then they check the video footage to confirm, but they see Sebastian was lying there. Then we see Sebastian goes to Linda's house again. Then Linda senses Sebastian's presence around her. She suspects there is someone around here, and so she went to the lab and checked. And then when she puts his hand on Sebastian's bed, she says no one is in the bed. Linda understands that he is fooling everyone. Then they decide that they will inform a senior scientist. Linda goes to the senior scientist with Matthew and tell him everything. The scientist gets very angry and he decides to close the whole project and bring Sebastian to justice. After the two of them left, the senior scientist wanted to talk to the military. Then we see that his phone is dead. That means someone has cut his phone line, which means Sebastian went there and then he drowned the senior scientist in the pool and killed him. So the next morning, Sebastian returns to the lab. Linda and Matthews were waiting for their scientist's call there because he is supposed to come to the lab that day and have a meeting to punish Sebastian. But the scientist's call never came. And then when Linda calls the senior scientist's house, then she learns that he died by drowning yesterday. Then Linda realizes that Sebastian did it, and then she decides to tell the military directly about the project. But before that, her phone died. That means the line was cut. Then Linda tries to get out of the lab, but no door is opening because Sebastian closed all the doors. In other words, every employee has their own fingerprint to go out. All the fingerprints have been inactivated. Only Sebastian can get in and out if he wants to. So they get tense thinking that Sebastian may be inside and can harm them, and they also decide that they will catch Sebastian. They knew he's in the lab. Then one of the girls moved away from Linda and all the members to her office to fetch something, and then we see Sebastian kill her. Then they realize that Sebastian will actually kill them all one by one so that the information about him does not go out. Then they try to find Sebastian with the help of the temperature. Searching by temperature means that a person has a normal body temperature, so no matter how invisible he is, the temperature of that place will be captured by the temperature machine. And as the temperature rises, they find a location of Sebastian. Matthews and his friend go to catch him. Since Sebastian was invisible, he wounded Matthew's friend in reverse. Matthew shoots Sebastian but nothing happens to him. Matthew then escapes when Sebastian injures and tries to kill him. Matthews then tells everyone to go there and everyone goes there. And Linda's friend goes to fetch blood and Sebastian arrives there and kills that girl. But Matthew's friend also died. So now only 3 people were alive in this lab. One is Linda, the other is Matthew, and an assistant with them. Then we see Linda goes to find her friend who went to get blood, and when she got there, her body was found in the fridge. And when they get there, we see Sebastian hit and kill their assistant with a rod. And when Matthews goes to save that assistant, Sebastian hits him with that rod and locks Linda and Matthew in the fridge room and turns on the fridge temperature and leaves. He wanted to freeze both of them to death. So when the temperature started to drop slowly, we see Linda trying to break the glass in the room, but the glass could not be broken and Matthew was badly injured, so there he became unconscious. Meanwhile, Sebastian makes a bomb and set the timer and go from there, and inside Linda is able to open the fridge door using the magnetic wave device there. Linda then takes Matthew out and sets fire because Matthew's body temperature was so low. Then Linda goes to Sebastian. In fact, Sebastian was in the elevator at that time. He will leave by the elevator, but before the elevator door closes, Linda arrives. Linda has a cylinder in her hand that sets Sebastian on fire. And then we see Sebastian is trying to kill Linda. So then the fire will catch the lab, so Linda quickly runs the fire alarm. As a result, the water began to fall and the fire was extinguished, and Sebastian survived, but he was seen vaguely for water. Sebastian was also beating Linda. Matthew comes from behind when Sebastian was trying to kill Linda. He had an iron rod in his hand, which he struck on Sebastian's head, causing him to fall. And then Matthew starts to live with Linda. But Sebastian was not dead. He pulls that iron rod and goes to kill Matthew. But at the last moment, Matthew realizes this and he pushes Sebastian to fall on an electric wire. As a result, the electricity travels through Sebastian's body and Sebastian becomes unconscious. Then Linda and Matthew arrive at the place where Sebastian left the bomb fitted. So they realize that they don't have time to deactivate this time bomb. So they decide to run away. And there is no way out without a lift. But Sebastian has inactivated all their code, so the elevator will not take their command. So they climb the emergency ladder that is attached with the elevator. And just when they get up, the bomb explodes. And then whenever they think they are safe, Sebastian grabs Linda and Matthews try to save Linda, but before that Sebastian takes Linda to the elevator. Then Linda grabs a wire in the elevator and cuts the wire that was attached to the elevator with a button. Linda presses that button. As a result, she and the elevator became separated. Then the elevator fell down and Sebastian fell under with the elevator. And after he got down, he was burned to death. And since Linda had caught that wire, so she hangs out. And slowly she reached out to Matthew. And this is how they survived. And here the movie ends. So tell me, what is your opinion about today's story in the comment box. If you want us to explain your favorite movie, then tell us that movie's name. If you liked today's story, stay by our side by liking and subscribing. Thank you and take care of yourself. See you in the next video.